responsibility is to reduce the intensity of load shedding. Now, when you measure that, how do you measure that? It depends. It depends on an individual, because you don't have a measure that says that we will make sure that there is no load shedding up to stage 3. So it's very difficult to measure, except to have a feel here and there of what changes have happened or not.
And I guess that's perhaps the main challenge here. When you don't know what the measuring stick is, how do you give a pass or a fail? But maybe let's highlight some of his wins during his tenure. What has he managed to get right?
I think that some of the wins, I mean, he's supposed to coordinate NUCOM, which is the coordinating committee within the presidency, to make sure that there's a reduction of timelines for new infrastructure. So the one-stop shop that is within the Department of Trade and Industry and Competition, that has been achieved to an extent, and the timelines for some of the projects, especially solar PV projects, have been achieved. That, however, is constrained by the fact that we still have issues with the grid that is to connect those projects. So there are some improvements in that regard. There's also some improvements in the sense that when Kusile was supposed to be, the 3 units were supposed to be fixed, there were concessions that were supposed to be made by the Department of Environment to make sure that those 3 units are fixed. So that is ongoing, and I think there's an announcement today. Hopefully the timelines will be shortened, but the timelines we are looking at are November for now, October, November. So if those timelines are reduced, that could bring in new capacity, or the capacity that we've been missing, which is almost 3,000 megawatts. So if that materializes, that will be a big milestone.
And as far as his fails or his losses are concerned, what would you say they are?
I mean, the minister is not responsible for Eskom, right? But he reports on Eskom, and one of the key deliverables under the Energy Action Plan is to fix the Eskom fleet. So we still have breakdowns of over 16,000 megawatts. It's a good thing that we are doing maintenance that is planned up to almost 6,000 megawatts as well. But we still have breakdowns, we still have partial load losses within Eskom. So that is still an issue. The question, though, is that the terrain of the minister, or is that Eskom's responsibility together with the board, which reports to the Ministry of Public Enterprises?
But that brings me to my next question, which perhaps is a point of contention. Ultimately, he does not hold all the powers. You still have, Minister Kotongwan in finance. You still have Barbara Creasy in environment. You still have Pravin Gordhan in public enterprise. You still have Gwede Mantashe in energy. So is his role just ceremonial if he doesn't actually hold the final power and the final say in what happens?
Yeah, it is to that extent, but he does hold some level of power with regards to procuring new capacity, though it is limited, because again, the Department of Mineral Resources and Energy is responsible for putting out there what will be procured. So you are correct, to an extent it's very much ceremonial. He can't hold Eskom accountable per se, as he is not directly the minister responsible and accountable for how Eskom performs. He relies on cooperation. So I think his role is more of coordination. I mean, he has had some influence, to be fair, within that Department of Environment, where he has managed to negotiate for Eskom's Kgosientsho power plants to be able to be allowed to operate, despite the environmental concerns due to concerns about load shedding. So it relates to influence, really. And as I said, there are no timelines, milestones. This is by when we expect to have the work done. So it's anyone's guess.
So as we leave it in just one word, pass or fail?
It's difficult to say. Pass what? What's the measure?
Pass what? Good question. Thank you so much. That's energy expert there, Ruse Moleshe. Now, one of the things, or some of the things that the Minister of Electricity has been tasked with is to ensure that there's new energy generation capacity on the grid and to fix Eskom. And that's a mammoth task. And as the energy expert was saying, how do you do that and how do you measure that?